engaged in Stockholm, eh?
Never engaged in
Wow.
Stockholm.
You cry?
Bro, it was so cold that the tears were frozen.
We obviously play Lobola, bro. Negotiations didn't go that well.
But that's the problem. No offense, but if you had Indian uncles that would negotiate the shit out of that deal.
you need to slow your ass down.
Even if she's got like a Bachelor of Arts, bro, it can't be that expensive.
Okay, are we gonna get cancelled in episode 2?
Yeah, give me all your attention. One time for the misfits. Through the doors open on the highway. I promise you don't want to miss this.
The Load Shed Podcast. Josh Dukwa, Chaka Ngubane, episode 2. We have that power. Today we have a big guest on set. Hey, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling excited, bro.
Yeah?
I'm very, very excited.
Today's guest goes back with us. We've known him some time. Everybody knows him.
Yep.
Massive player.
Huge.
Big boy. Just got back to South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Ryan Moon?
Hey, can I get some hands here,
Come
guys?
on. Let's get
All right,
Moon
there's
on.
only a few of
Let's
us
get
in the
Moon
studio.
on.
Only a few of us in the studio.
You're actually quite tall, eh? You're actually quite tall,
Nah,
eh?
he's huge. That's
What's
why I
your
didn't
height?
stand up.
What's your height?
Geez, I think 178, 1.78.
1.78. That's
no,
like
centimeters. Wait, centimeters is...
That's like 15 more than me.
I'm not revealing what I am, bro.
What are you like?
Really, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. God damn!
4'9". Ryan Moon, how are you feeling?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me over,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks.
It's amazing. I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, back in South Africa, eh?
It's been amazing for the first year. Obviously, I just got married now, coming back
congrats,
as well.
congrats.
Thanks, man.
Halala.
So it's been good. Obviously, a bit of adjustment because how things work in Europe versus how things work in South Africa. But it's been good. I've been at Golden Arrows now for the first season. It's been good so far. It's always good to be back home.
So, what do you miss the most about Sweden? Don't say lights because we've got electricity now. So things are fine. Things are fine. Don't even say that.
I do miss that everything works. Dude.
Dude, I'm with you.
Everything works. Like from train systems to lights, and everything's on time. So I think I missed when I first got there. I missed about 3 trains because you'd get your ticket and it'd say
punctual.
Your train is leaving at 10:20. South Africa, you think nah,
Bro.
probably about 50:30.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm walking with my coffee, my hot dog, and I see the train and I'm like, shit, that's my train.
God damn.
Running, schooling, so everything's on time. But I just missed obviously my missus, she'd obviously say she misses the safety, obviously.
Yes,
and that's
yes.
it. She'd go buy groceries like 9:30 at night.
Jeez.
Sure.
I won't have to go with her. I'd watch series while she's going on.
Sure.
Summer was very nice. She wasn't there for summer. I was there. She only came towards winter. But summer, the sun goes down at 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So we'd leave training at about, obviously we finish training at about, if you're training in the morning, you finish training at about 12, and we go to the beach at 6:30 at night. Wow. So about 9, 10, we'll chill. We'll just be relaxing and we look again, it's time for training the next day. So we got it.
Dude.
But it was nice, bro. Luckily, I think what made it really amazing, what I actually miss a lot is that in Varberg boys, we had I think about 7 or 8 guys from Africa and from South America. So I had 4 South African guys there. And we had a guy from Brazil, a guy from Ghana, Ivory Coast. So we were all really tight. So every day after training, we'd go to this Chinese buffet because who's cooking after training? Nobody, none of us.
Yeah.
We'd go to a Chinese buffet and then we'd go find somewhere. We'd go for vibes. We'd call it vibes. So we'd go around the town looking for vibes. And
I saw
it was proper.
You did bring the South African element to the Swedish league. I saw your celebration on one of the videos that went viral. That was massive.
Yeah, it was
massive.
It played it was funny, bro, because it played the Kabuza celebration. It played in Varberg, it's called Discovery, the kind of TV. It played for 2 to 3 weeks, bro.
Wow, dude, wow.
It
was so
funny.
cold. It was so cold when I saw it.
Bro. It was funny.
Bro, when you score a goal, over there, I mean, I think the European fans obviously they dedicated, you know. So when they see you there, they're like, oh my gosh, and there's the goal. What's that like, bro?
The feeling.
The whole crowd, you know?
Yeah, the feeling is amazing. I think the best was when we played Dew Gordon. Dew Gordon is like one of the biggest teams in there. It's probably like your Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates, those type of. And they were beating us, I think 2-0 or 1-0, right? And then I think I scored to go 2-1 up.
Was it a header?
It
Was
was
a header?
No, it wasn't a header, man. It wasn't my feet. You can get that back. It wasn't my feet. It was amazing. I went crazy. Like the feeling it's just amazing. And and I had a yellow card that game. Previously, I had a yellow card during the game.
Racked up quite a few
and then
yellows.
I had a yellow card in that game, and then I went to the crowd and I was like this, and the referee was like, "I'll give you a yellow card if you do it again." I was like, but like just the feeling is amazing.
Have you had like not an altercation, but like a situation where you bumped into like away supporters or something like that, and they like tuned you? Is there anything like you've caught flack?
So unfortunately, the team I was at was a very small team. It wasn't a big team. So fans would just talk crap about us. Yeah, so basically we were like, we were this like which team in the PSL? So I don't like to disrespect the PSL, but we were a very small team in the PSL.
Okay.
Like, that side. And so the team would be like, these ones 3 points. Like,
Sure.
They won't even intimidate us. They're like,
W.
They're going to be like,
W.
3 points. They'll be like, and then if we beat them, they'll be like, you guys brought your A.
You guys are good.
Well,
Yeah.
Like when we beat you, Gordon, actually, it's the same game I was talking about. So
Yeah.
when we beat you, Gordon, it was insane. So they were pushing for the league, and we beat them, and the team that's second went first.
Ooh.
So basically,
was big.
we were driving. So listen to the story. So we were driving back on the bus. So basically from Joburg to Durban, we were driving back, and while we were driving, our captain someone tweeted our captain like, "What's your Swish account?" So Swish is like e-wallet, like an e-wallet type of thing. Yeah. Like what's your the fans from Ike. Well, like, what's your Swish account? We want to switch you guys because you guys did some work to go buy beers.
What?
Bro, I think by the time we got to Harry Smith, I think we got about...
Are you saying like distance, like Harry Smith, South
Harry
Africa?
Smith, by the time we got to Harry Smith,
Yeah.
we had received about 15,000 Rand.
Wow.
The bus stopped at Harry Smith, the guys went and bought their drinks.
Jack Grealish
Wow.
vibes, yeah.
Bought the drinks. It was like second to last game of the season or third to last game of the season. Guys bought the drinks and then they just partied the whole way.
Yes.
But we
What a
still
way.
split the
What a
money because
scene.
like 15 grand. How much stuff can you really buy?
Yeah, bro.
So
Yeah.
they bought for like obviously like half the team doesn't drink. Other half. Well, actually no. In Varberg, like those guys, a lot of them.
They drink.
Majority drank. Actually.
Yeah.
Majority
Yeah,
drank.
because they're European.
And
European
then-
obscene.
But most of them drank, and then the rest they split the money. So we
Yeah.
each got like 3 grand, bro. Like,
Wow.
We'll take it.
by the end of it, I think we got like 46,000, 45,000 rand.
Sure.
The fans, it was stiff because then it became like it was trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like, well done to Varberg. So the guys were just saying,
Have it.
was
Have it.
proper.
So your time in Sweden was 1 season, am I correct?
100%.
Top goal scorer,
Yes.
all right? Lots of headers, lots of screamers, lots of screamers.
The head.
Yeah, that head, and it's not a big head, bro. It's not like he's like a Harry Maguire or
it's
anything
okay,
like that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's an average size head, you know, for the damage it does.
It did damage.
And you had one good season, one great season, right? And then you find yourself at the PSL this season. What happened? What happened there? Was there chats to renew? Were you wanting to stay in Europe?
Yeah.
Were you wanting to come back? What was the plan? What was happening?
So obviously for me, guys, I'm a big believer. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I still believe in God. And I mean, I think I'll get back to it, but I think there's a reason that I'm back and there's a reason that He wants me to be back. So at the time first it was amazing. It was amazing 1 year.
Yeah.
I loved every bit of it. I want to thank the club, for actually bringing me there, signing me from Steadies and taking me there. It was really an amazing experience. So I just think there was a lot of things that were a little bit out of my control in terms of what happened. I had options to renew, but I really wasn't happy with the conditions. I went there obviously to go and try and prove myself and obviously push on from there. And I thought I did well enough to obviously
Season 1 you did well.
I think I did well
great.
enough not to get Cristiano Ronaldo and him's wage or whatever, but just to get a little bit more because Sweden is a very expensive country. Bro.
Yeah.
Sweden is expensive.
Tax is quite a killer.
Tax is like 45%
Wow.
depending on what you're getting.
Yeah.
So it was a very expensive country to live in, but you can see why it was expensive because everything works. It was proper. It was the
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. But bro, every country in the world has problems. Every country. That's one thing I've seen, and I'm a big ambassador for South Africa. I'm getting sidetracked now, but I'm still. Like I hate when people obviously talk bad on South Africa, especially like what I've noticed. South Africans overseas talk bad about South Africa.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. Whenever I've traveled,
All the
go
time.
to-
That's why they left.
they left, but I still say that if you're leaving, if you can't make it in South Africa, then I don't know, bro. Because there's so many opportunities to make it in
Big
South
time.
Africa.
100%.
There's a lot of
Big time.
opportunities to make it in South Africa, and we have. If we just sort out, obviously it's big things, but if we sort out the smaller things, Bro, every foreigner from that side, when I speak to them, loves South Africa. Our coach in Varberg's been South Africa 4 times.
Sure.
That's how much he loves South Africa. Like he keeps coming back because we have everything. We have beaches. We have. Okay, I got sidetracked, but I was just advocating for South Africa.
For sure.
But back to what I was saying. So I needed to make a decision for myself and for obviously my family and moving forward. What do I think was going to be best for me? You know, and I think certain things didn't materialize in terms of what I thought and what I would hope to materialize. You know, agent-wise, obviously trying to figure out where my next move was. I had an offer to go. I had different offers to go to different places. Like I had an offer to go to. It was Poland, America. Who actually had a conversation with Landon Donovan.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was a conversation with Landon Donovan, who actually we spoke, we video call, we chatted.
Oh, so you had a chat with Landon Donovan?
Like a proper chat with Landon Donovan.
Legend.
Yeah, it was insane.
Was that surreal? What did your phone just ring and it was like, oh, who's this?
Well, at the time, my agent was Modise Sefume, your college old boy.
My boy.
He's a college old boy.
Shout out Safes. Yeah.
At that time, he was my agent, and he had obviously. He had spoken to him, and then we got in touch, and we just had a bit of a 3-way chat, and we were talking, and that was also like was nice, obviously, to have that. But and then there was offer like in Jordan, and there was offers like in a lot of different places, but I had to kind of make a decision as to what would have been best for me as an individual. And
I got a question there. When you're playing there at Varberg, and those offers come, like what's that like? You're just jawling, and then all of a sudden. Phone rings. What happens? How does it work?
Bro, you know what, dude? Like a lot of the time, I think in that entire process, what that entire process showed me is that there can be offers, but at the end of the day, it's what's in black and white. You know what I mean?
For true.
I can call you and say, hey, Chaka, I got something for you at McDonald's. I want you to be the CEO, blah, blah, blah.
Easy.
Why McDonald's CEO? You're throwing shade there. Why is it McDonald's CEO? Couldn't you be like the CEO?
Like of Kauai or something,
like
bro.
Why McDonald's?
You're throwing me at McD's. Shout out lettuce and spinach. Thank you. Jeez,
Chuck is on a strict diet.
Jeez, I'm on a journey.
Okay, I'll backtrack.
McDonald's.
Of all the companies.
Sorry, bro. Carry on.
I can call you and say, look, I think it might be good, but at the end of the day, it's what's in black and white. So there's a lot of, as footballers, you hear a lot, hey, do you want to come here, do you want to go? But at the end of the day, it's what's in black and white. Yes, obviously. And I think that's also what kind of gets you sidetracked because you're hearing from this person, that person, this person. And it's not 100% concrete at the time, you know what I mean? So I think it's important as a football tweet when those things come in, is to actually just block the noise. Let the guys who are in charge control that, and you not get involved.
You just keep playing.
You keep playing into your job. You know what I mean? So I never really worry too much about that. I let the guys who were in charge, worry. Yeah.
Then the call comes and says, "All right, cool. Now you gotta have a say."
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Donovan calls you and says, "Listen, this is the chat."
What I was given. It was at the time, and the timing wasn't 100% right because at that time we still had 3 months left of the season. We had like 2 months, 3 months left of the season. So I couldn't commit to him at that time because we still have 3 months left. You know what I mean? So much can happen in 3 months. So I couldn't. I would have loved. I promise you, I would have loved to have gone to America and loved to have worked with him.
That would have been massive.
It would have been really nice to work with him. But like I said, there was still 3 months left of the season. Now you imagine you do that and then you blindside the club you're at, and
so like you're very respectful. I've noticed
it wasn't 100%. Like I said, I just think the timing wasn't right, and I would have loved it. The timing wasn't right, but also like I said, there was so many other variables that just led to that. Led to me not taking that. There was a lot of behind the scenes things that happened.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't discuss it. You can't
for sure.
You can't just say everything, but there were a lot of other things behind the scenes that happened. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret certain things. You know what I mean? You can't have too many regrets in life.
Yeah.
Yes, there were certain things that could have been handled differently in that moment, and at the end of the day, you can look and say, but I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have listened to this person, that person. But you should have actually listened to yourself. That's the main thing. You know what I mean? It all boils down to what decision you made. You can't blame that person, this person. Yes, he had a say, and he had he was kind of involved in it, but it's your decision that you took.
You live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
Yeah,
so that's what it was. I live and I learn in a situation. You know what I mean? And like I said, up until I still took the offer, I was deciding in between: should I take that? Should I take that? And then you just had to look at what was really best for the. I mean, I was engaged at the time. It was just so many things. Now
You got engaged in Stockholm, eh?
I got engaged
Wow.
in Stockholm. Yeah.
Destination. Hey? Chucks, do you still remember the day you got engaged?
Oh yeah, jeez.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
Great day.
Did you cry, Ryan? Did you cry?
Bro, it was so cold that the tears were frozen. It was so cold. It was, like even my hands were like.
Your wife's
freezing.
going to be watching this and saying, I want to hear what he said. I wanna hear what he
She was
said.
also shocked and she
Was it?
was shocked. She was like freezing. It was
Yeah.
scenery was beautiful.
Yeah.
I only went
Yeah.
there for vibes.
Was it like snowing? What was it?
It was proper
It
snowing.
was like, it's cold, man.
Brown man
Just
proposing
hurry
in
up.
the snow.
I woke up in the morning
Yeah.
and it was -4.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yo, that's love, bro. That's love.
But
that's
at
when
that
you
time-
know if you're making those decisions.
But the
bro.
question is, at that time, you woke up in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm doing this. Or did you say, I'm going to wait for another day? Or did you just be like, today's the day,
Yeah.
I'm doing it today, no matter what. -4, she must be like, hey, bro, why are you taking us outside? It's flipping cold, yeah, you see?
Did you like tell her to do her nails and her hair? What was it? Tell us. Let's walk through.
Firstly, Jens, the ring was already bought, bro.
Done and dusted.
Is that?
Done and dusted.
That's a big investment,
The ring was
bro.
there already. So
Once you buy that
she
thing,
actually
you
came
know.
up with the ring. She didn't know. She came up with the ring, actually.
Ooh.
She traveled
Oh, is it
up
a
with
family
the
ring?
No, it's not a family ring.
Okay, okay, I thought it was one of
It was
those.
a sweet story. So my mom wrapped it up and as like my birthday gift that she couldn't give me. She was
Oh,
like,
sneaky Mrs. Moon.
And she was like,
Mrs. Moon.
And she still said to her like, please make sure it's jewelry, so don't make sure like you don't lose. So she kept it in her bag.
Oh, when your mom-in-law gives you something, you got to keep that tight where you got to hold it like this.
Yeah.
So she kept it the whole way, and then she brought it up.
Wow.
But also, dude, we had paid to get there. I was like,
Yeah.
no, and you know, like if you bought a movie ticket to go and watch Trevor Noah, or
You gotta
something,
go.
You're going to the thing.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
There's
You gotta go.
You had the ticket.
There was no turning
Yeah.
back. So, but I think the scenery was still beautiful, even if it was -4.
Yeah.
It was still beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's love, though. -4
Wonderful.
degrees. What?
I just want
-4
to
degrees.
clear something up. You obviously didn't pay Lobola, bro.
No Lobola.
No Lobola.
Cool. Any percentage black in the family? Or?
No percentage.
Oh, okay,
So
then,
no
then
Lobola.
you're in a
I
good
saved-
space.
I saved.
It's a big saving, bro.
Did you have to pay Lobola? How much is your Lobola?
Okay, let me tell you. First of all, we don't disclose the price.
Why is it like very premium?
But what we do is
Yeah, yeah.
we look back at the family. And we
Yeah.
look at the family tree because
Yeah, and you see
my
the
wife is
degree.
mixed race.
Okay.
So I see, okay, 1/8 colored. 1/8 black, I'll be like, all right, cool. 1/8 of the price. Bang. Okay, negotiations didn't go that well, but whatever. You know what I mean?
So do you have to like negotiate? You went to negotiate your Lobola?
Well, I technically
your uncles, right?
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
uncles
yeah.
are-
Your uncles.
your
I sit
uncles
in the
go,
car,
yeah.
bro.
You sit in the
You don't
car.
do that.
Were you in
Sit
a
in
car
the
seat
car.
like a little baby car seat?
So
Just one of these?
I sit in the car and I got the money and then I just chill.
Oh, so you go with cash dollar as well?
Cash dollar, bro.
Cash money.
You just sit in the
Yeah.
car, then the
Surely the Oaks like it's modern now. They've got like machines. You can like tap your card
no,
as
bro,
well.
no EFT.
No,
No
okay.
EFT in this job.
Hard cash.
Yeah, so you go there and then they do their thing and then they come back and be like, hey, bro, hey, listen, this is a price. Then you have to.
So when they came and gave you the price, we like,
Yeah. Well, no, you'll be like, all right, this is what I expected. And then you.
Okay.
you
They
give
kind
it
of
a-
give you like a hint, like it's gonna
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah, yeah.
But it depends. Obviously, if she has a degree, it's even more.
Yeah,
If she got it, what do you mean if she got it?
She has a degree. it's
Slow
more,
down.
bro.
Are they levels?
Slow down. Slow down. There's pre.
I've been lucky enough. I've been lucky enough because I have like friends from all over, bro. So
There you go.
I've heard the procedure like firsthand. Like,
Oh,
the guy
exactly.
Was crying
Does
to
it
me,
depend?
like,
Because I mean, if she's got like a
crying to me.
Bachelor of Arts, bro, it can't be that expensive. But
Okay.
she's got to be like, she has to be like an engineer or an accountant.
Listen.
Because I'm not paying for B Arts, boy. I'm not like, don't come tell me.
There's
You
what
can't
we-
be paying for that.
There's what we call.
That's disrespect. Like, he first he disrespected golf last week.
First of all, you need to slow your ass
I'm
down.
like degree, bro.
You need to slow us down. We're gonna get cancelled in episode 2.
But I'm not gonna. If
Right.
you tell me my daughter's got a B Arts, but I'm like, that's not gonna change the scenario.
Here's what happens.
If she's like a doctor like me, I know I'm paying.
Okay,
I know
look,
I'm paying.
There's pre-engagement,
I'm paying.
bro. There's obviously pre-engagement. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
and then you pre-engage. You be like, all right, guys, hey, this is what I'm
Yeah.
maybe coming with.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there'll be discussions. They'll be like, hey, up the price or whatever.
Also, it's like that sort of a thing. It's like back and forth.
I call it pre-engagement.
So if you're at the car and you're like, they come and they're like, oh, 500,000, you're like,
well, 500,000, you'll be like,
Go
hey, this
back.
is what I got. I'll be back.
So you have to go get the money.
Well, yeah, bro, you gotta negotiate.
king.
Can't you be like, no, but she's only got a B sock, so at least 250.
I'm not there. I'm not there.
Okay, so you're quiet. You're in the car. You're in the car.
I'm
seat.
in the car, bro.
You're, you're like a little baby, so the uncles are.
I'm in the car, bro.
Do the uncles also
and
get like
seniors,
commission?
The seniors, actually, it's not the uncles, it's seniors in the family.
big boys.
But that's the problem.
The big boys,
No
the
offense,
chiefs.
but if you had Indian uncles that would negotiate the shit out of that deal,
So now,
there'd be a VAT return or something.
Okay.
You'd get a rebate or something. If your uncles were Indian, the deal would be perfect.
Okay.
It'll be like buy one get one free. You'll be like, why are there two brides? They'll be like, no, there's two daughters. You get both the daughters because we negotiated the deal.
so you telling me you're looking at your wife at the end, you're like, hey, bro, I got a good sale here. You're looking at her, you're like, oh.
But he's not saying that. He's just charging it for.
I'm just saying from out to it because I'm like, yo, that's expensive.
But you once you get a good deal because you've negotiated, you're gonna be like, ish, I got a deal here, bro.
Yeah, bro, this is like
Hey,
when
50%
like
off.
if Spar puts oil on special, it's one of those, you know, you gotta go buy.
Buy
like,
one, get one
Like your
free.
uncle, if your daughter is 250, then like we can negotiate like a better deal. You know what I mean?
Bloody hell, man.
So you done?
Okay.
You done?
I'm
And
done.
you done?
Stockholm, done. Right?
Back to basics.
Back to Stockholm.
Let's go back all the way to school when it started. Like I want to know because
Yes.
that's when you know. Because I remember like Ryan Moon was a name. Like
Yeah.
Easter tournament, you were a name. Like also like this is Ryan Moon because of Bryce. Your
100%.
brother paved the way.
Yes.
Right? Bryce played in the Champions League.
Yeah, he did.
Correct. Massive.
These are the champions.
Liverpool won't be singing that song
All right,
this
cool.
season.
Hey, see you
though.
on Thursdays, boys.
They
See you on
done. They
Thursdays.
done.
There's no need for that. There's no
See you
need
on
for that.
Thursday.
See you on Thursday. So Fridays are gonna be
The Robert Marawa show.
See you at the Robert
Europa
Marash
League.
show.
So Bryce obviously paved the way in your family, but your dad,
Yeah, he was also
Patrick Moon, is that correct?
correct. Yeah.
He was a footballer as well, very prominent back then,
Yes.
and he started things for your family. The Moon name became a footballing associated name,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then Bryce, let's chat Bryce. I know Bryce was at Maritzburg, correct?
Yeah.
He was a right back or
So he was a right
midfielder.
back, right? You know what? A funny story is he actually all started off as a striker when we were younger. When he was younger,
hectic.
he was also a striker.
Okay.
Because he was always like fast. He was
Is
always
it?
fast,
Yeah.
so he was always a
Yo,
striker.
I see him at gym nowadays, boy. The man still moves, hey? Yo, he moves.
Yeah, but
he moves.
he still thinks it takes 2 weeks to get his body into shape. And he's like, I look at it and his stomach is here and he's like, just 2 weeks. I just need 2 weeks. Like, bruh, your metabolism is not
And
the
he's
same.
competitive as well.
I want that
'Cause
pace.
sometimes I get on the treadmill and I'm just doing like a steady 8 and then Bryce will get on and he's been, how's it, boy? 10, 11, and he's moving. And I'm like, yo, what's this man doing? Is he,
How long is he staying
wait.
on that for?
No, he's on. And he's got his Louis Vuitton duffel bag as well. Looking nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's chat Bryce now.
Okay, no, so obviously, like, my dad was a footballer, and
yeah.
I think for me, as long as I've gone back, he'll always be my hero. Like in my first football, I actually loved and watched, and will always be Bryce. Obviously, I love other footballers, but I mean, he will always be like my hero. And I think to growing up, and I used to watch him from like Ajax. So Ajax days, I used to come down with the junior team. They used to play Easter tournament.
Yeah.
And growing up watching him, I just wanted the tracksuits. I was like, yo, bro, I want these tracksuits. Bro. I didn't think of the money. I was like, yo, I want to get.
Were you
I just-
thinking
I just
football
want the
at that
merch.
time?
I was thinking football at the time.
Did
I was
you
like,
want to get into football or you
I
like?
I loved all sports, but I loved hockey, cricket, rugby, every sport. I was basketball, and I loved every sport, but I always wanted to be football. You know what I mean? Because when I got to grade 9. When I got to grade 9 or 10, my dad said I have to decide like what type of sports I want to go for. Because I was 18 basketball, 18.
Okay, let's get serious now.
I was like, which sport you
Oh,
want
so
to
you
do?
were never the kid like I got picked last a lot, like you know at the school ground they're like, okay guys, we choosing teams. I was just standing there, they're like, okay, there's nobody left. Josh, you can be goalkeeper. So you always first pick at school in the playground. They were like, no, I want Ryan, first choice. Were you that guy?
Chief respect, man, probably the captain, Chief. I was the captain.
Yeah.
You were the captain. Oh, you were choosing. Chaka, wait, were you picked as well? Come on, you've been quiet there.
Chaka, you were first team hockey, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, hey,
Chuck,
slow
you're
down.
busy,
Hey guys,
Marky.
this is about Ryan Moon.
Okay, back to that anyway. So just watching him grow up, you couldn't ask for a better role model in terms of football wise. I mean, he played for Bafana. We used to go. We used to go watch him. We used to go to Rustenburg, watch him play for Bafana. And at that time, like it was insane. I have like such vivid memories of a lot of things in my life. But one of the biggest memories I have was like going to the Bafana camp. And in the Bafana camp, I would I think it was during the Confed time, whatever. They'd have like PlayStation rooms. Like at the
I hate
time,
it.
no, I think Xbox or PlayStation 2 was out at the time.
South Africa had those, bro.
They had them
Yo,
in like, they had
we
them
were
like
hot,
it was
we
in
were
the
hot.
sense because remember 2010 just came out, brother.
Yeah.
Was it 2009? No, 2008, FIFA 208 or something like that.
208,
That was out.
yeah.
And then
This is 2 years before the World Cup, eh?
2 years because 2009
Yeah.
was Confed.
Yeah.
So we'd go visit them at the hotel, and in the
Yeah.
hotel which you visit them, bro, I think I remember playing. So when you walk in, bro, it's just top dog. So you're looking at your Kune, you look at
Yeah.
I obviously look at Kune, you look at your Modise, you look at who was there at the time, Benni. So they're all in the hotel room. bruh.
Benni was there at the
They
time?
were all in there, like
Wow.
they were all in their
Massive,
thing, but like
massive.
Nassif Morris, like top. So like I was still young, but you coming in,
Yeah.
we'd go visit him. Like wherever you went, we'd go and travel. Like my mom
Yeah.
and dad. That's one thing that
I've seen that. Your mom and dad are always there. Yeah.
Both Bryce and I, where we are today, is because of them. They would
Yeah.
literally. My mom
Yeah.
she'd get on a bus to
Yeah.
Cape Town and go watch us play. She'd get on.
Sure.
But isn't that an inspiration? Like when you're exposed to that stuff, you're like, damn, these are the heroes.
Bruh, so like I'm saying, I would see that growing up. We'd go visit him in the hotel. You seeing your Teko Mudises, you seeing your Shabalalas, you seeing your Benni McCarthy, Nassif Morris's, like
Benni.
big dogs, bro.
Benni.
Like, I was just like, yo, again, I just wanted the tracksuit. Like, Bafana was sponsored by Adidas at the time, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
the tracksuit. I wanted to be
What
like
grade
him.
are you in at the time? 9, 8?
No, I think I was maybe grade 8, 7, grade 7
Yeah.
somewhere. But I just wanted to be like him. I wanted to do what
Yeah,
he does. I wanted
yeah.
to have what he has, you know. And so obviously, and then he went on to play Champions League, right? Like I remember watching his first game. He played against Inter Milan, and that's the year they won.
Whoa,
That's the year they
was
won.
crazy.
That's the year they won the UEFA Champions League. They had
Holy
Zlatan.
smokes.
They had I think they had Zlatan,
Zanetti.
Julius Caesar, and he had a crack of a game. Hit the post twice. He
Your
played-
brother hit the post twice against Inter.
Right, twice. He had a fire game. But like we were.
What was he
watching-
playing? Was he attacking?
He was
What
playing
he-
right wing at the time. Actually, he was playing right wing.
Yes, I did see he was a right winger. They said he was a right
playing
winger.
right wing at the time, so it was insane. But like watching your brother play Champions League, how much more motivation?
That's
do you
crazy.
need? How much
That's
more-
Yeah.
next step because Inter Milan, the Italian
much
league
more?
was they were the big dogs.
Yeah, Mourinho was a coach.
Yeah, Jose was the coach.
Jose was
Yeah.
the coach.
He was with Mourinho too.
Jose was a coach. Right?
So what was his like being an oak from KZN, South Africa, small town, stepping on that stage? What did he say? Like, is there anything he said to you where he was like, "Yo, playing with Zanetti, chatting to Mourinho"? How was that? Those games, those big
I
games.
think out of all the players, I'd ask him like, how was it? I think the two that he said was like really hard, and I know it was hard because when we watched the game, like the one guy like really finished him. Was Aguero.
Sergio.
Sergio Aguero. 'Cause he played Atletico Madrid in the Europa, I think. Like he said, Aguero was just
Phenomenal.
He's like, and then he said like Zlatan would just hold you and like
Is
you'd feel like a crane is on you. Like that's how strong Zlatan was. Like those are the two players he said were like really
Gave him a
really-
tough time.
So you saw this and you were like, all right, cool. This is what I want. This
100%.
is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Yeah.
definitely like
was
seeing
the winner.
seeing that like bro, like I'm saying, like you see that growing up, you go. We'd like I said, we'd go to every camp whether he was playing in Rustenburg, Kimberley as a youngster. We'd
And
go.
you get to go.
You get to go. You get to see the players. You get to. So I'm like, yo, bro, I really, this is what I want. But like, I really, and imagine like I would go back to school. I'd go back to like Pelham or college, and I'll tell the guys, bro, I was playing PlayStation with like Benni and Teko Modise, and they'd look at me like, this guy's lying.
Cap. What do they say these days? Cap. It's
They're like,
cap now.
they're like, this guy is lying.
He's
I'm like,
capping.
bruh, and I didn't bother to take pictures at the time. Like,
Yeah.
It was the moment.
It was the moment.
You
I
were in
didn't
the
take a
moment.
picture at the
For
time.
sure,
I didn't
for
take
sure.
a picture. I wish I did at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was playing, and I think I played once with. I think I
Did you
I
beat
played-
any? Did you rock Teko?
I can't remember. What I do remember, I played with E2.
Yeah.
I played with E2, and he wanted to get a penalty so bad because he was with South Africa and he wanted to save the penalty because he was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But that's what and at the time PSP just came out. Those red.
Oh yeah.
PSP
What
just
a
came
time.
out.
Those were
That's
ahead
top.
of their
I know
times,
you,
eh?
you open that thing and you flip that thing and you
Bro,
Yeah.
you saw him playing the
what a
mall.
time.
So
Yeah.
they were given PSP, so he didn't.
Yeah.
Bryce didn't play PSP. He didn't worry about it. So I took the PSP. So I was playing like wire. I was playing PSP. So.
And then from there, so then you're like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. I want to know, so you're finishing high school. How do you get into the first club that you get into straight from there?
So I was 17 still at Maritzburg College.
Yeah.
And we would have it was called the PMB National Cup. I don't know if you remember the National
Okay,
Cup.
yeah. Who you play there? DHS and them. Who do you play?
No, DHS actually wasn't. It was Lynn Park.
Lynn
It
Park and
was,
them, okay.
It was what's a school from Grangeside? Those ones that were forging, bro.
Okay. The bullies.
Can't tell me the guy isn't telling me he's playing high school. He hasn't checked your size.
What are you talking about? He's in grade 8, bro.
Grade 8.
I was like, bro.
No way. We need the birth certificate on set right now.
Yeah.
So is that where the scouts are?
So the scouts were there. So
Holy smokes.
So actually, Ernst Middendorf was a coach of Maritzburg United at the time, and I was in grade 11, so we were playing a lot. And I think also credit must go to also Pandile Shandu, because Shandu, he was the first to get signed, right?
Really?
To Maritzburg College. He was the first to go through like Maritzburg United, and he under Ernst as well, and he did well under that. So he obviously like the first person that sets the tone basically.
Because he ended up in Pirates, huh?
He's at Pirates right now.
He's doing an amazing job at the Pirates. So he went through first and did well. So Ernst obviously carried on watching the whole.
He was up the caliber of this.
He carried on watching all the schools, because at that time, like at schools football now is obviously grown and it's on TV and it's amazing. But then it wasn't really on like schools apps. So you had to come and physically watch.
Yeah.
So Ernst watched, and that's where he obviously saw me, and then he said, "Okay, come and play like a couple of friendlies with us." So I went and played 2 friendlies. I think we played at Harry Kuala. I don't know if we played Tux or we played Tux and someone else. We played at Harry Kuala, played 2 friendlies, and then from there I was signed after the 2 friendlies, and then I was actually supposed to play like. I couldn't get I was supposed to make my debut. The next week. We were playing a cup game. Like,
Don't say exams, bro.
No, bro. So they didn't register me in time. I didn't get registered in time. And then, listen to this. I didn't get registered in time, and then he resigned. I got signed, and then he resigned.
Now you're in limbo.
So we carried on.
So does that change the dynamic a lot? Because new manager now, you're favoured by the one before in football.
Yeah. So new managers, obviously, every coach has their likes, their dislikes, and how it works, man. You just gotta obviously put your head down. You just gotta put your head down and work. You can't. I can't say, okay, he doesn't like this. No, dude, put your head down and work. You know what I mean? So from there, I was obviously 17. I got signed to Maritzburg United. And then I was in the Castle League. I played with the Castle League for about a year and a half, in and out. So it was amazing to be actually signed while you're still in high school. Like I was a PSL player still in high school.
Dude.
I was like the people, my friends in school, I think used to laugh at me because I got signed this week. 2 weeks later, so in school your grades are like bootlegs.
Yeah.
And, I tailored everything. I tailored my blazer. I tailored my. So I was like,
new man. I'm a new man. I don't move like you.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
I don't move everything, like bro. I tailored my chinos. I tailored.
Tuxedo.
And then I used to be. So in high school days, you used to go and used to panda. Because you know what I used to do, like. When you the higher form you are, you can send the guys to the front of the line.
Yeah.
So I was that guy who like, you want a pie? Because second formers, grade 8, couldn't really get to the front of the line. So he'd be like, you want a pie? I'll organize for you, give me 20 then. I'll send you to the front.
I'll sort
you
you
speak
out.
to the prefect that's over there, he puts you in the front. So I was that guy before I got signed. So now when I got signed, they're looking at me like, bruh, you're still pandering, but now
you're making money. Why are you making money here?
You're earning a salary. I'm like, but guys,
business is business.
Business is business. Don't stop.
Register because I didn't really worry too much about that. I was still, because I loved it because it's to be free, bro. Like this poor grade 8s. We all came through it, bro. You were grade 8 once. We all come through it. You know what I mean? And I go to the front. So, but then eventually I had to stop, bro, because they were like, bro,
you're a celebrity now. Stop making money off grade 8s,
stop this pandering now.
Let's talk to us.
Stop this thing. You know what I mean? So eventually I stopped, and then I made my debut. I think when I was in matric. End of matric, I made my debut because Ernst came back eventually.
Was Bryce there at Maritzburg at the time? I remember something.
It's sad because when he signed at Maritzburg United, that same week he signed, I left that week to Chiefs. So we never got the chance to actually play in the same team.
You were at Maritzburg for a brief spell.
We played against each other.
It was a very brief spell. And then
I was there for 3 years. I was there for
but I mean, on the first team platform, and then you were Chiefs.
On the first team, I was there for a year because I think we had 5 coaches at the time at Maritzburg. Even the late Clive Barker, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Clive.
Even he was one of the coaches at Maritzburg United.
Yo.
So I got to be coached by him for a bit of time, which was insane.
Massive.
So yeah, we didn't get a chance to really play with each other, but we still versed each other. We did play each other.
Yeah.
He was at
And what's that like? What's that like playing against your brother in a game? What is it like? Do you guys communicate before the game? Is it like a handshake, casual? Or you guys like professionals? Today we enemies.
Well, look, I think it was a little bit more emotional for him versus me because he was obviously the older brother.
Little brother.
So we spoke about, and then during the game he'd be like, "Oh, good pass, well done." So he was a little bit more emotional. I was just like, I want to beat you, right? I was obviously.
Was he tough on you though? Like if you had the ball and he's coming to take it away from you?
I was on different sides, but
Okay,
I was.
okay.
It was always he's on the right, so he can't
Yeah.
follow me. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was. When I look back, it's amazing. Like in that moment, like leading up, we were FaceTiming each other. The first game we played was a cup game, a Nedbank Cup, and we played each other. He was at Mpumalanga Black Aces, I was at Maritzburg United, and we were playing each other. So the week before, during the week, we were video calling each other and we were chatting, and it was just like good luck. And so it was nice. It was amazing. But obviously, to share a field with.
What
your
would
brother
happen on a
and
field if there was an altercation with you and another player from his team?
100% is jumping for me.
Really?
100%.
You think so?
100%.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even if you're like in the wrong, like you've done something horrible, like you've
Even if I'm in the wrong.
got off the floor and now the Oaks are just pinning you. Is your
Even-
brother? What's
Look,
he
he
doing?
won't. I don't think he's gonna just turn around and start fighting with his teammate. But like, he'll make sure that nothing
You
happens.
fine.
Like, he'll
Fine.
make sure, like,
Yeah.
dude, you go one side. There's no ways.
Okay. I always think about these
there's
types
no
of
ways-
things.
Nah, there's no ways he'd allow that.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
He'll rinse for you.
Nah, he would, bro.
So that transition from Maritzburg to Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now, listen, Chiefs is
Biggest in
it's
South
a
Africa.
It's a big club.
Massive.
Now, when they start seeing you, what's the family saying, man? I'm sure the bloody what do you call these things? Pickled fish must be
the
on
Lobola
fire
price for
that
him.
day,
His
bro.
Lobola price went up if they had to pay
Pickled
Kyle Lobola.
fish,
There was a party.
Bunny Charles, everything.
The
is
road
there,
was
bro.
closed bro, the day you signed for Chiefs.
Yeah.
What happened?
No,
What
bro.
happened?
So-
What happened?
It was amazing, bro. Like when I think back to it, so I actually owe like a lot to John Pencil and Steve Compella at the time, because they were the two that signed me. John Pencil, it's like, dude, football. That's why I say like football is like you can never burn bridges, bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
Not only in football, I think in any
life,
way in life.
in life,
yeah.
yeah.
John Pencil was my roommate at Maritzburg United.
Hectic.
So, bro, he would come, hilarious. So we'd go into camp. So the day before the game, you camp. So I'd come into camp. John Pencil, my roommate. He'd put cartoons on and be like, and he'd keep the remote and he'd be like, "The TV's on, you can watch." and it's what. I was sitting around, I was watching cartoons now, bro. All night. He put cartoons on for me. Keep the remote. He called us.
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. Not Cartoon Network. I think it was Disney. There was only, you know, when you go to
Disney,
hotels, there's only like one specific.
Yeah, specific.
So if it's a Telemundo, whatever thing it's on, you gotta watch that cartoon that's on there.
Yeah.
So he'd put it on. I just never really worried. I'd be like, "You're my senior, dude. I'm gonna listen to you."
Yeah.
It's alright.
It's and I had amazing senior players. He was an amazing guy, and I love him to bits, because when I was at Diski, every time I would score a goal, he'd give me like 500 rand. And he told me,
What a legend.
he'd tell me like, whenever you score, I'll give you. Bro, I was scoring every week. Then eventually it got
was
to
like,
the stage
slow
where-
down.
Eventually he's like, okay, you scored again. Okay, I'm gonna go ask the Diski coach if it's really, because now he's like, hey,
We need to
every
reassess
second
the
week,
premium.
no, he's like,
The premium is too much. We need to make it 250 a goal.
So he'd give me like 500 and 500 rand when you're in high school, bro.
Yo,
It's a lot of
big
money.
money.
And you were still asking Oaks in the line at school for money.
Nah,
but you
stop.
ain't-
That's when you stopped.
I would never
pandering.
ask for money. I just said, buy me a pie. I would never ask for money. There was no.
Yeah, let's
there was
just
no-
clear that up,
Let's
John.
just
Just wanted to clear that
There was
up,
no
please.
exchange of actual physical money. It was just, you know.
So now you're a Chief. So what happened there? Because you had Maritzburg and then the call came now. And then what did you say? What was it like? Were they like, listen, Ryan, we've got this offer from Chiefs. What are we saying?
It was so I flew up.
Deep breath.
So I was at Maritzburg. I flew from the airport to there. I went with my family. I went with my mom and dad. We had spoke, and before, at the time, I was a free agent for Maritzburg. So there were again a couple of teams that obviously wanted me, and my dad went into the meeting with the CEO, and he said, "Look, these are the teams that obviously want Ryan," and they were just like, "Look, okay, cool, don't worry,
Open cards.
We'll sort it out. And then by the time I got back, the next day they had sent an offer, and they were like, "Cool, we're happy with that." And I don't care what they gave me, bro. It was Chiefs.
It's
bro.
Kaizer Chiefs.
Kaizer Chiefs.
Kaizer Chiefs,
I mean,
that's the biggest club in the country.
Yeah.
For me,
You know what I mean?
for me, they're one of the biggest teams in Africa.
Massive.
They are. They're not getting the best of results at them, but every team goes
Every
to
team
that,
goes
bro.
to
Like,
it.
Took Liverpool 20 years to win the league. I'm not saying it's going to take that long, but
True.
they're
Yeah,
a big
true.
team, and they'll get there.
They'll get back. They'll get back.
They'll get back to where they need to be. But it was amazing getting a call from
And
Chiefs.
you got in.
I couldn't believe it at times. But I was like, yo, bro. Because now you're going to training.
Dude.
Imagine I'm going to training with guys who I used to play PSP with or thing with.
Dude.
There we go.
So
Back then.
I'm here.
and
You're
I'm
like, I made it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now you sing Kune, you sing Bernard Parker, you sing Shabalala, you sing
Yeah.
Tipo Masilela, you sing Kulet Katsande, you're like, yo. These
Big.
are like, but now you also can't be, I can't be a fanboy. Like in that
That's what I'm
moment,
saying,
I can
like-
sit now and say,
You got to be a pro now.
I can sit back now and say, but in that
Yeah.
moment, you're like, yo, bro, you can't be a
Professional.
fanboy
Now you got to be a professional right now.
How's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't, but inside, you like, when you
go back to the room, you're like,
so when I leave the village, I'd phone my friends.
You don't know.
I'd phone, maybe I'd speak to one of my good friends. I'd phone Aaron or I'll phone Joel, whatever it is. I'd be like, bruh.
Hectic.
Then they'll comment. I'll be like, yeah, no, I was just playing 5v2 now.
Yeah, chill vibes, man. Yeah. Hectic.
But I was excited. But can you imagine I was young, I was 19 years old, bro, like playing for one of the big. It was amazing, dude. Like I loved every moment of it. It was my parents were extremely proud. I think a lot of Peter Marisburg, because also in Peter Marisburg, a lot of Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
KZN, so
I remember meeting
it
you
was
in
a proper-
Joburg and you were Chiefs at the time.
Yeah, you were a big boy, bro. You went into Gucci. You were a big boy.
Yeah.
I
saw
Gucci.
I
You went-
saw
He took
him
me
at
out-
Gucci.
He took me out. Don't lie. He took me out to lunch. He's like, I've been eyeing this thing, of my birthday.
Wow.
And he was like, listen, don't worry, I've got an account there.
Lies.
Just pull into
How
Gucci,
the turn
say
tables.
Ryan Moon,
I could
say Ryan Moon, say
I
Ryan
was
Moon.
at Markham's.
This was walking to Gucci.
I had my Markham's packet and he's like, yeah, no, I've been eyeing this thing for my birthday. I was like,
Wow.
I was like,
Sometimes you gotta spoil yourself, you gotta spoil
Wow,
yourself now and then.
Wow.
And look at this man now.
Dude.
Look at him.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so-
then, yeah.
But you know what I loved about Ryan, right? At that time, he was at Kaiser Chiefs. Massive guy. I didn't know Ryan on a personal level at the time. I knew him through a friend of mine. Like I'd met you sort of,
Yes,
kind
yes,
of. We're from the same hometown, same sort of family background. And I saw him in Rosebank and I said, hey, Ryan, I saw you in Rosebank with Brylan.
Yes.
I was like, hey, Ryan. And at that time, Ryan was a Chiefs bro.
Yeah.
He was a big boy, also asking to take pictures and things like that.
Holy
I was
smokes.
like, hey, what's up, Brian? He's like, hey, yo, Josh, what up? You're a very humble oak.
Thanks.
Very genuine. And I think those are such important characteristics to have as a professional. You know what I mean? And since then, we've always been in contact.
Yes,
Like, you reply to my Instagram, and I reply to yours all the time because I'm like, yo, nice Gucci belt, nice Louis Vuitton belt, nice
Oh,
Gucci
oh,
bag.
wow,
nice,
wow,
you know
wow,
what I mean? Because you post it all the time, so I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy, you know?
Trying so hard to come back for that. It's fine.
Nice
It's
Gucci
going-
bag, yeah.
So at that time, you were Chiefs, and you had a good season. You scored some big goals, lots of big moments. Let's talk through that Kaiser Chiefs stint that you had. How was it?
It was amazing, bro. So my first season, I didn't play as much as I would have loved to in my first season. I know I ended the season off with like my first PSL goal, which was like an amazing goal. Like,
Dude.
it was a
Who was it
lovely
against?
goal.
What was
It
it
was
like?
against Golden Arrows, actually.
Oh.
Funny enough, it was against Golden Arrows.
Yeah.
That was my first goal with him. So I ended off the season well. I think in my first year, I had an operation on my left knee meniscus, so I didn't play much at all.
Yeah.
Second season came, and that's when I really so because of end of first season at Chiefs, I played like the last 3 games and I scored. I got selected for not Kosafa, for the Chan qualifiers.
Okay.
Bafana Chan qualifiers. So that's like the junior guys get
Huge.
selected for Bafana.
Yeah.
And the coach was Stuart Baxter at the time.
Stewie.
Big
Stuart
coach,
Baxter.
massive.
Great guy, great coach. So I went with him, and at that time, bro, like the Chan team is basically like the Chan team that was there was like I'll kind of say the core of Bafana at the moment, because it was Tobeko Mokwena, it was Sipo Mbuli, it was like we had a good team, like a strong young team that went.
Yeah.
So I did really well in their Chan qualifier, because that's when I my first time playing for Bafana, and I scored on debut against Botswana.
My golly.
For Bafana, I scored on debut for Botswana.
Game changer.
And how crazy is this? On debut, I scored for Botswana, and Bryce scored on debut for Botswana as well.
Oh,
How crazy
wow,
that is.
that's so
also
cool, man.
Well, when I was going onto the stadium to play, they give you those pamphlets before the game. So I looked on in our previous matches between Botswana, and I saw goal against Botswana. It was P-Moon and Bryce. And I remember that game specifically because it was my brother Dalry's birthday, and we were at the stadium in Kwamashu. It was his birthday. Bryce got man of the match for that game. He gave him, back then they give you these big boards.
Yeah.
So I remember that game. So obviously going there was amazing. I scored on debut, did really well from Bafana. Came back and started the second season now, and then started really well for Chiefs in the second season. Did really well. Steve was the coach at the time, Steve Kompela, and he gave me a good chance to play. At the time it was me and Paez, and then it was me and Castro. We were doing like well together. We were scoring.
And those are international boys as well.
Yes. So we
Big players.
It was so we were kind of like the 3 of us are like obviously your main guys. One of us is starting, so did really well that season as well. Obviously that was unfortunate. That was the season. Obviously, Steve had left, and then the fans chased us that season. But they came on the field that season. It was bad.
I remember that.
How was it playing under Steve though?
It was nice
As a
playing
coach.
under Steve. As a coach, besides a coach, he was a good mentor as well.
Yeah.
Off the field, he preaches a lot about off the field.
I was just about to say, is he that philosophical?
Yeah.
Big. He gets
He's not-
Because on interviews he says some things. I'm like, yo, give me the dictionary. I want to see this word. I need to see.
It's not as hectic as people think on the outside.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
He's a very simple person.
Yeah.
And what he says, if you really listen to the crux of what he's saying, it makes a lot of sense. Right? If you
Yeah.
can apply what he says,
He's
because
right, yeah.
He's a professional. He played overseas, bro. He was a captain of Bafana. He's now a coach. So when people like that talk, you listen. You know what I mean? So he obviously gave me a chance. I played under him. But yeah, it was nice to play, and I did really well in that season. I thought, okay, now third season, it's gonna
rock.
because that
It's gonna
second
rock.
season I was also a regular. I was getting called up a lot for Bafana, and not just Chan. I was getting called up for like 4 nations. Where that team was your Pongani Zungus, it was your Chomelo Mahoches, it was your
And Bongani was overseas at the time.
Pongani was overseas at the time. He was
Yeah.
playing for Amiens. It was Dean Foreman. So that was the main team now. But I was getting called up for that team as well. And even the team. And then we went on to the third season. So that team that got called up for the 4 nations with Lebo Motiba, the one who's playing in France at the moment.
Yeah.
So I was in that team as
Big
well.
number 9.
That team, that exact team, there was only I think 3 of us from that team who didn't make it into the African Cup of Nations the next year because I wasn't playing at all the third seasons. I wasn't playing when Solinas came. Because I think he's coaching Italy. Because Steve now left, Solinas came in. And like I said, every coach has the people that they want. But I came into the third season now saying, I just come from Bafana, just come from having a decent season. Third season, I'm ready to go rock and roll, and then bang, you don't play. You don't start the whole half of the season. You don't play at all.
Mentally, how is that though? Mentally,
For any
because like
footballer.
you've had a great season, you feel good, and then it doesn't work out.
That's how it is in football. It's how it is in any industry. Not only in football, you're gonna have times like it that's gonna challenge you, and it's how you take it. It's how you adapt to it. And obviously, it wasn't really nice, but you just got to keep working, right? Nobody likes someone who's just going to cry and complain. I'm not playing because of X and this and that. You just got to put your head down and work, bro. So
That was like me on the school play field. Eh?
Who was that coach that was with the eyes?
I mean, most coaches have eyes.
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. He was a Kaizer Chiefs coach, and his eyes, and he was very animated on the side of the
I know what you're
field.
talking about, but he was a lot. Bryce actually got coached by Ajax.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. You know what I'm talking about. So you never cross paths there, because
I know him. I know him personally because because Bryce he coached Bryce at Ajax Cape Town, and then
he was animated, man.
good coach also.
Yeah.
Though. Good coach. I'm very animated, passionate about the game.
Yeah.
But I also know him through Bryce and I knew him. I actually at the time he was at Ajax Cape Town when I met him, and then when he played against Aces, he also liked the way I played as well. So he was a very, very, very good coach as well.
Flip, interesting.
What made you bring him up?
No, because I was thinking Kaizer
It just
Chiefs.
shows how far back you actually want.
Yeah.
You don't watch PSL that much.
But exactly.
You heard what he said about PSL last week, eh?
It disrespects the PSL.
I want to
bro.
talk about the PSL
It
quickly.
disrespects the
Okay.
Let's talk about the
Here's
PSL.
my question then. Here's my question. So it is clear that in South Africa, PSL isn't watched as much as Premier League. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Right. My question is why? Why do you think that is? I don't know.
Is it a
I'm
lack
asking.
of investment? What's going on?
How much time do we have?
I just want to know.
It's just, bro, I have this debate with a lot of friends of mine. It's just there's just so many variables and so many like reasons as to why it is. Obviously, like a lot of people just say, okay, PSL is boring. PSL is not appealing to them. But at the end of the day, bro, as a professional, as a footballer, like we work hard, dude. Like we don't just go there just to say, well, okay, we're just gonna add numbers. Every footballer, right, goes and work hard. Whether he doesn't do well, or whether he has a hectic nightlife problem, whatever it is, he still goes to training and has to work really hard. You know what I mean? So, but besides that, there's just like I said, there's just so many factors, and I think
Politics?
Obviously, there's politics in every industry, right? In every industry, there's politics. But we're having a debate why can't we fill up stadiums?
Yes.
Why can't we fill up stadiums? But I also think that people don't want to go to stadiums anymore because it's easy just to watch it on TV, and they don't want to go to stadiums. Yes, okay. And you say the football is not really good, but let me make an example, right? If you have 30,000 in the stadium, bro, automatically your game lifts. Whether you're an average player, you go.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying if you have more fans in the stadium, automatically, let's say it's a home game for for Arrows, right? Arrows is playing Stellenbosch. If we have 15,000 Golden Arrow supporters there, automatically Stellenbosch players are going to be ish. They go a little bit into the slump.
It's the 12th man.
You
You
get
pumped.
a bit of that pump.
You pumped.
You get a bit of that lift.
Yeah.
And then the players automatically start getting better. But in order to do it, you have to play better football to bring the fans in. Yes, I know, but I think that we can do a lot more as players and as clubs. We're trying to get fans. I think we have to focus a lot on getting fans back into the stadium.
I agree, because
have to focus a lot
if
on
you look at a rugby stadium, it's always packed. It's always packed.
But you know why it's packed, bro?
Why?
You know why it's packed? Why rugby and cricket? And I also enjoy going to them because it's not just you're not just going for rugby. 90% of people don't just go for rugby, bro.
Yes.
They go for the vibes.
The gears and the vibes, and
They go for because if you go to Kings Park, the game is at 3. People are there from 11, park with their buckies, having a braai, having drinks. By the time they get into the game, they are smashed and just there to have a good time. It's because it's the environment they create. They create a good vibe. They got kids thing for the kids. They got a lot of. That's why cricket and rugby does. They
Very
bring
well.
romance things
Very
in,
well.
bro.
So that's what we need to create in
So
football.
it's just exactly like just
Get the Afrikaans guys to come to the PSL.
well, not necessarily. That will be that'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
So okay, Josh, you and me now, bro.
Right.
Ryan plays his next game. We must be there.
No, we have to be there.
We need
Next
to be
home
there.
game,
Exactly.
we're attending.
We need to be there, and
We have to go.
Come there with gears, bro. Gears.
I'm coming with big Afrikaans oaks, bro.
Yeah.
I know some Pretoria
I
boys.
will
I'm
bring.
calling them.
I'll bring 5 guys.
Whole crew.
Guys, be there. We are watching this man. Number 9, Ryan Moon. I will be there. I'll take some selfies.
Thanks for watching episode 2.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Booyah!
We're done.
Yeah, give me all your attention. One time for the misfits. Through the doors open on the highway, I promise you don't want to miss this. They say the good die young, but this is gonna be a long one.